Another month, another 105 new patients booked and paid in the diary. Hey guys, my name is Stefan Buscudino. I'm the founder of Practice Speak. And if you want to learn how every single month, and yes, we did it again, and it's February and it's not even end of the month, and we have 105 new patients in the diary. If you want to learn how we did this consistently, please stay until the end. I'm going to talk about 3 specific strategies that are what I call evergreen. What does that mean? That means that it's not necessarily the tactics that you use on Facebook ads or expensive Google PPC ads or crazy stressful times to figure out how to bring new patients. No, these are proven strategies, and I'm actually going to open the curtains behind my business to show you exactly where the patients came from. We're going to actually put maybe a little screenshot right here on where the patients came from and how many acquisition channels we have for you to understand the concept of business. The problem with most chiropractic clinic owners is that they still think like the chiropractor once they open a business, and they're afraid to spend money because they think it's expensive. But once I teach you how to put the pound in a box, and then someone takes that pound and gives you 3, 4, 5, sometimes 10 pounds back, there is no magic. It's just simple math. But you have to understand the strategy. So please stay until the end, because the third one is probably one that is going to change your clinic forever for better. And guess what? Ultimately, you will be impacting more lives. So I'll be going between the screen here where I've got my statistics for the month, my actual stats, and you'll be able to see little screenshots. So you don't think that I'm lying or making this up, because a lot of times agencies and people who don't actually have a clinic, they will tell you stuff that is to do with leads or is to do with cost per lead. But no, these are actual clients. So today, as the recording video is 25th of Feb, and we have booked 105 new patients that have paid in my diary, which means that every single one of them will show up, and there's no like follow-up and endless conversations with potentially trying to get people to book in. No, these are 105 clients booked in the diary. Now, in terms of what were the big ones for us and what changed the game? I was just like you, by the way. 4, 5, 6 years ago, especially when I first opened the clinic, I was just figuring out, well, how on earth am I going to get new patients? Because I opened this big place and I thought, I've got my signs out there, people will come to me and they would want my help. Well, that's not true. That is not what happens in real life. And for those of you who run a business know exactly what I mean. So this is my story. I had almost burnout the first 6 to 8 to 12 months of my practice. I didn't sleep. I was just trying to constantly think more new patients and how do I get them? And eventually we scaled with a team, which builds more pressure, which means higher expenses each month. And I would have a good month and I would feel like I'm top of the world. And next month will be really quiet and awkward. And you know, especially if you have associates, how difficult that is. You just walk in and there's like, everyone is quiet and nothing is happening. Well, the game changed for us as soon as I started to think in systems. And one month, when I invested with a coach, and by the way, I'm someone who never stopped learning, but even with me, I didn't have it figured out. I didn't know what to do. And once I started to invest a little bit more about, well, how do you actually build and scale a business? And what does that look like, regardless if I'm in the building treating patients or not in the building, the thing still works. And 1 month, just everything changed for me. And I stopped guessing and I started to test. And I started to test fast, and I started to use systems and proven strategies that work, regardless if you're in the space of chiropractic, dentistry, osteopathy, marketing, or selling cars. The concepts are the same. The first lever that I discovered was something that we talk about this in previous videos. So if you haven't watched them, please do, but it's the authority engine. Authority. And what does that mean? Engine. That means, and if you haven't read this book, go and read this book. It's called KPI by Daniel Priestley. And no, it's not Key Performance Indicators, it's Key Person of Influence. And you can even read Key Business of Influence. How do you become the go-to place where most random marketing tactics just don't work and you're just wasting your time and your money? And as a business owner, one of your biggest decisions that you have to make is what works, what's important, and where do I invest my time? Not just the money, where do I invest my time? And when it comes to becoming the key business or key person of influence in your industry, this is where you position yourself as the go-to expert. But how do we do that? For example, last month we had internet Google search 8, 4, 3, so that's 12, 15, 16, another 2. So almost 20 new patients came from just people searching us organically. We did not spend a penny on that because we've built authority. One of the easiest, fastest, and most effective ways to do that, and you can go and research my company, is getting those 5-star reviews. This builds massive, massive, massive social proof, and you cannot expect to just speak to every single patient that comes through the door. These are outdated methods. You need to think of systems. How do I systemize that? I believe we have over 300 it almost looks fake. We have 300 plus 5-star Google reviews. Every single time someone searches for a chiropractor or massage therapist or rehab in our local area, boom, we pop on top. Our reviews pop up, and we are like 3 times more than the local competition. It didn't take much effort. It took me a long time to figure out automations and systems and how to do that. But you've got to think of becoming this authority engine. This drives super high quality, warm patients ready to start care because you've already built this subconscious decision that in their mind, they think you're the expert. And I hope you are, by the way, because all of you are amazing in what you do. You just got to start thinking in business systems more so than just thinking, well, how am I going to get this new campaign launched and what agency I'm going to hire to run my Facebook ads. The tactics are easy. The strategy is the difficult part. So that's number 1. The third one for me is probably the most important, definitely the highest leverage, but the second lever that you can think about, that you can pull to accelerate or decelerate your business is having this effortless booking system. The number of times I've invested in a mastermind or in coaching and people tell you don't have prices on your website, don't have ways of people booking, get them to inquire and all this stuff. And I think to myself, we have 5 practices. We have tested hundreds of different data points and we find every single time we make it difficult for people to call, book or inquire, we see drop in new patients. Every single time. I can't even afford to do it anymore because when you think about it logically, it makes no sense. Why would I not allow people to see my prices? I'm not selling a £20,000 product. I'm selling health. People should have an understanding of what it costs them to come and see you. We should also have a very easy way of people finding your diary, booking now, paying you now. Because if someone pays, they're going to show up. If someone inquires a free booklet on 7 ways to reduce headaches and migraines, that is a lead. We don't generate 100 new leads, we generate 100 new patients every single month. That's why I'm able to scale from 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 figures in a matter of 5 years. That is how we build a team of 15 people who we can give back to and invest in and pay for their seminars and training and for my team to look after our patients. That is the only way we can do that. Simplicity scales, so keep it simple. If you go on our website and you can see that everything is just super straightforward, we have as much availability as possible, which is the opposite of what you will get taught in other training gurus and coaches, right? Limit your availability so you don't look desperate. We've tested that too. The number of new patients coming in drops, period. And if you can show me a clinic that generates 100 plus new patients consistently on average per month for the whole 2024, and we'll probably do more in 2025, then great, I'm happy to listen. But for the time being, if you're not generating that, maybe there's something in the stuff that I teach. And the third lever, the third point of leverage in your business, for me, is the one that I invest most of my time in because it has the highest point of return and probably the biggest return on investment, short and long term for your business. And that is having some sort of a referral automated flywheel system. We'll call it a referral flywheel. Don't even know how to spell flywheel. Excuse me, but that's not important. And what do I mean by having a system? Well, I don't have to teach you that the new patient that comes in is very different type of patient when they've been referred. They're educated. You are already the authority engine. It's been effortlessly for them to come in. So you have to consider, how do I build a system where people can refer? How does the human brain work? The human brain works in being rewarded or punished. So you need to figure out the carrot and the stick. I'm not going to draw a carrot and a stick, but how do I reward people for coming in as being referred, but also how do I reward the person who is referring someone to come and see me as the expert? How do we gamify this? If you remember when you were a kid and you're playing games, the only way you would keep engaged and taking part of the game is if the game got harder every time you hit a new level. So for those of you who are watching right now, is how do I gamify the way people refer? What most clinics get wrong is they just hope that their patients would refer. And hope isn't a strategy. Hope is just something that you are blindlessly expecting to happen because you think the world owes you stuff. And the world doesn't owe you anything. But you do an amazing job in looking after your patients. If you are the authority because you are good at what you do, you tell people what you do, you have ways that people can book easily through the website, through even if it's Google PPC campaigns, and you have 3, 4, 5, 6 months invested in building an incredible referral system that creates momentum and it gives high quality patients, then everything else in your business becomes more predictable. We had, last month alone, we had 20 patients booking through our Google PPC campaign, which is brilliant. We had 19 being referred from another new patient. And we had another 7 using the app to refer. By the way, it's not even the end of the month and we haven't pushed any referrals, but the system works. So we've had 26 patients that were referred from existing patients. What that means is I spend this much on 26, 27 new patients to come from my door, and probably 80 to 90% of those converted into a care plan because they're high quality patients who are ready to buy because you've passed the authority test. So if you want to just take advantage of one of those leverages, one of those levers, you will get some results. If you see, maybe I'm going to invest in becoming more an authority, I'm going to start thinking about systems and how to generate more reviews. And by the way, we talk about this in previous videos. Obviously, the really granular tactical stuff, I explained that when people work with us in the mastermind. But for the time being, you can probably spend 20% of your time on these 3 super important levers in your business, which will give you the highest leverage point. They call this the 20-80 principle. Focus on what works really well and invest your time in that to get 80% of returns. Don't constantly think, oh, how am I going to run another Facebook ad? How am I going to just have whatever campaign you're running? Is be clever about your business. So many business owners do it wrong and they get burnt out. Currently, I work, I would say, 20 smart hours per week on my business. I don't adjust anymore. I don't treat anymore. I just build systems, I build teams, and I invest back in the business. And it pays off. It pays off because now I can, not that this should be your incentive, but I can not be in the business for a week, for 2, for 3. I come back and the entity itself as a model, the business works exactly the same. Ask yourself the question, if I'm away for 3, 4, 5, 6 months and I come back, what would my business, inverted commas, looks like? Well, chances are it probably wouldn't be necessarily even there because you're not thinking in systems. You're not thinking in these things that we just discussed in the video. So now you know my exact framework for how I think. Now you know how we generate 100+ new patients every single month. And by the way, the return on my ads is probably 1 to 3, sometimes higher, 1 to 5, 1 to 6, 1 to 7, depending on what campaign we run. In my mastermind, I believe we have close to 12, if not 13 or 14 now, highly effective marketing campaigns that run every single time. And I can give you the tactics. But if you don't understand the strategy of why we do it and how we build a business, everything becomes pointless. So you can use my exact framework and you'll get probably the same results. If I can generate 100 new patients a month every single month, so can you. If you want to fast track it and you can fast track your results, I can personally help you implement that. This is why we have free discovery calls. There will be some link in the description of this video to allow you to book in my diary. And if I think I can help you, great. If you're serious about growing your clinic, if you're serious about impacting lives, comment below, subscribe to the channel, ask me questions, and I would love to hear your feedback on how we can make this more impactful, because my personal mission, selfishly, is to help people build high impact clinics that can serve more people, that can earn you more money, that can change more lives, all whilst you are living on your own terms. Thank you for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.